Minister of Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs, thank you for opening our meeting. Deputy President Paul Mashatile, thank you for being present here as we meet the very people who run the affairs of our government close to where our people live. Minister of Water and Sanitation, Ms. Phemisa Jordina, who is at times called 𝐬𝐮𝐫𝐿𝐫𝐿𝐿𝐿, and the Deputy President is called 𝐼𝐻𝐻 wamanzi. They say I'm called the timer wamanzi. Minister of Finance, Enoch Godongwane. I highlight all these three, COCTA, Water and Sanitation, in my greetings, and Minister of Finance. It's good to have the Minister of Finance, because as he came in, I asked, have you brought bags full of money? Because every mayor and municipal manager who's here expects that you are going to fund all their projects. And he said, no, I forgot it at home. Various ministers who are here present and deputy ministers, our premiers who are also here, our mayors, of course, who are here, municipal managers, representatives of SALGA, our traditional leaders who are here present, directors general and heads of departments, and ladies and gentlemen, and members of the media also here. Thank you for your attendance at this extended President's Council meeting, a coordinating council rather. This is the first time that what we call the PCC holds an extended meeting that has brought together all the mayors and municipal managers of our local government tier of government. So all of us who are here are really participating in a historic get-together, a historic meeting, because we've never held a meeting as large as this. It is the extended meeting of the PCC. We often hold it with our ministers and metro mayors and our premiers. So today we decided that we've got to heighten the intellectual capacity of the PCC and bringing all the clever, the capable mayors and municipal managers. And as I look at most of you, your faces are familiar, and I know how clever and I know how capable you are. So welcome to this meeting. Namangala nje, you are not clever? When I meet young people, I often ask them, do you go to school? They say yes. Are you clever? Sometimes they are with their parents. They look at me and I say, are you cleverer than your father or mother? And I say, please say yes. You're cleverer than your parents. So all of you who are here, you are welcome, and we thank you for being here. The President's Coordinating Council, which is composed of our national ministers, our premiers and local government representatives, was established to strengthen coordination across all our spheres of government, at national level, at provincial level, and at local level. South Africa's system of governance is based on cooperative governance. In essence, the architecture of our government is set up in a very well-structured manner, where national government sets national policy, while provincial governments coordinate the implementation of policy, and local government, where most of you are, delivers the execution of policy. So the PCC was created to ensure that all these spheres of government work together and that they do not work in silos. The PCC ensures national priorities are aligned with provincial and with municipal plans as well. In other words, the PCC connects policy, implementation, and delivery. So this PCC is meant to enable oversight and engagement with premiers and our mayors, and it ensures that our country is governed as one coordinated state, not three disconnected spheres of government. So we live up the ideals that were set up in our Constitution. When the architects of our democracy drafted our Constitution, they really understood a fundamental truth that no single center of power can fully serve a nation with as diverse, a complex and divided history as South Africa. So they wisely created a system that is distinct in function, interdependent in purpose, and interrelated in execution. So today's historic and unique meeting is aimed at enhancing our cooperative governance process so that we can work together as all spheres of government on a clear action plan to address the challenges facing many of our municipalities. We all know what those challenges are. Many of our municipalities do not have the revenue base to provide the infrastructure as well as services that people need. Many do not have the deep skills that are necessary from which they can draw. And in many ways, that is why there is a tendency to outsource so many of the functions, because in some cases they'll argue that we do not have the proper skills, for instance, for financial management, and they will go to a bookkeeping firm in the town to outsource the service of just doing management accounts. And they will go and outsource what should ordinarily be the function of local government, such as keeping up our roads and making sure that there are no potholes, which is traditionally the function of local government, is then outsourced, and at times is outsourced year on year from one service provider to the next, and they never really know the full architecture or engineering structure of the town's roads. It is because there are no deep skills. The current system is too complex and fragmented, with even small and under-resourced municipalities expected to take on many responsibilities. As a consequence of these systemic problems, together with governance instability, many municipalities have weak financial management and institutional capability, poor revenue collection, and insufficient capability and accountability. This results in poor service delivery, water and electricity disruptions that are common, roads and other infrastructure that are not well maintained or maintained at all. It is ordinary South Africans who bear the costs of these failures. Our task in this meeting is not to repeat the catalogue of shortcomings and weaknesses in local government, but to focus on the solutions. The finalization of the new white paper on local government will be pivotal for all of us. It will reimagine the way local government works, addressing the systemic challenges in the structure and functioning of local government. Among the tasks we need to focus on is to unblock infrastructure. Energy, water and roads, and public transport form the foundation on which economic growth and social development are built. The progress we've made nationally in tackling load shedding and improving logistics must now be translated into local reality that will improve the lives of our people. Municipalities must be at the front line of delivery, ensuring that industrial parks have power, that township streets are lit, that businesses can operate with confidence. We must therefore also focus on cutting red tape to enable businesses to operate so that our tax base, our rates base can also increase. Bureaucratic delays are driving investment away and shutting out the very entrepreneurs that we need to grow and crowd into our local economies. We must take steps also to focus on another important area of governance, which is to professionalize the public service also at a local level. Appointments must be made on merit, not on whether somebody is popular in a political party or not. There must be accountability and transparency as well. We must build up the skills and capabilities of everyone who works in local government. We must focus on training and upskill and train the people who work in our local government sphere on a continuous basis. And it must almost be like lifelong training, because it is through that skills are enhanced and are upskilled. These efforts are being supported at national level and are being coordinated also through the district development model that we have all adopted and accepted. There is no reason why, working together, we cannot overcome the challenges that we face at local government level and ensure that our municipalities are effective drivers of growth and development, and particularly economic growth. As I often say, economic growth really resides at the local level and not at the union buildings. One of the most immediate challenges that affects almost every municipality is the crisis in the provision of water and sanitation, as Minister Hlabisa said. That is why we have dedicated a significant portion of the agenda of this meeting to address this challenge. And we'll be addressing it from a diagnostic point of view and a solutions point of view, as well as how best that all should be financed. There is no doubt that over these 3 decades of democracy, we've made tremendous and great progress in extending access to water to our people. According to the last census in 2022, over 82% of households in our country have access to piped water inside their homes or in their yards, up from 61% in 1996. However, as the General Household Survey of 2024 showed, many communities experience problems with the reliability and the quality of these services. The percentage of households that experienced water interruptions lasting for more than 2 days at a time, and sometimes they go on much longer, has increased from 24% in 2012 to 34% in 2024. We are all familiar with the main reasons for the growing frequency and extent of water disruptions. Now, these include aging infrastructure, which we must talk about today, illegal connections, which we must focus on, inadequate metering, weak monitoring, poor maintenance, and institutional instability. Our 8 metropolitan municipalities are collectively losing an average of 34% of all water purchased before it can be built. Some metros are approaching almost 50%. Municipal debt to water boards has tripled between 2018 and 2025. Now, this crisis did not emerge overnight and will not be resolved by any single intervention. We need a range of actions addressing critical areas of failure. Major reforms in the water sector are already well underway, having been part of the work of Operation Vulindlela since 2020. Among the water sector reforms completed are the passing of the National Water Resource Infrastructure Agency Act and the establishment of the remaining catchment management agencies. We have cleared the backlog of water use license applications with a turnaround time for processing water use license applications that has improved markedly. The blue, green, and no-drop reports have been reinstated to provide more accurate information on the state of municipal water and sanitation services. In addition, National Treasury is implementing the Metro Trading Services Reform Program, which we will also talk about today, to overhaul electricity, water and waste services in the metropolitan municipalities. The program aims to reverse long-term service decline. It also aims to improve financial sustainability and, listen carefully, to unlock 108 billion rand in investment by enforcing clear performance targets. For if we are able to reach high performance targets, the incentive for all of us is that there will be billions that will be invested. And we need to build on the work that has already been done because it gives us a very good foundation. We are clear that resolving this crisis requires a collaborative and coordinated response across all spheres of government, working together with all social partners and communities. It was for this reason that I announced in the State of the Nation address in February that we would establish the National Water Crisis Committee to coordinate a government-wide response. And this was in clear response to the crisis that we are all facing. As we did to great effect in overcoming load shedding, the Water Crisis Committee will oversee the implementation of our National Water Action Plan. As we deliberate today, my dear colleagues, there are 5 key principles that must guide our common effort. First, accountability must be restored. Every institution represented here must be clear about its role, its obligations, and the timelines that it must put in place to enhance accountability. The people of our country are entitled to know who is responsible if commitments are not met. Second, the financial integrity of water services must be protected. Revenue generated from water services must be ring-fenced to support the operation, the maintenance, the upgrading and long-term sustainability of these services. We all know what often happens in this regard. If infrastructure is allowed to deteriorate while revenues are diverted to other functions, the water crisis will just only deepen. Thirdly, technical and professional capability must be strengthened. Municipal water and sanitation systems require qualified people, as in technicians, as in engineers, plant operators, project managers, and also financial experts. Without the right people in the right posts, even the best plans will remain unimplemented. The fourth one, there must be consequent management. Where there is underperformance, it must be corrected. And where there is persistent failure, there must be swift intervention. There must be no space for corruption, criminality, or even sabotage. Fifth, cooperative governance must be made practical. Having adopted the district development model, which mandates us to cooperate at close range, not only at 3 levels of government, but also with the key various stakeholders in every governance locale. We should do this to enhance precisely good governance. And we have already seen what this yields when it is implemented to good effect. We are 3 spheres of government, but we are one state serving one people. We need to be aligned around a shared purpose and disciplined execution. The President's Coordinating Council exists precisely to align all the 3 spheres of our government on shared priorities and to hold one another accountable. The water crisis puts that mandate to the test. The Crisis Committee provides the means of coordination, and the Water Action Plan provides the roadmap. What this meeting must provide is to give political commitment across all these 3 spheres to make both of them work together. We should leave here today with firm commitments and responsibilities, but more importantly, on clear timelines as regards implementation. The country is looking to us to secure an uninterrupted supply of water to all our citizens, to all our businesses and institutions, now and into the future. We have the means, in my view, to do this. So let us demonstrate that we also have the will to do so. And sitting here is the brain trust of the governance of our country, where our people live and where they experience the various challenges that are attendant in their lives. So, colleagues, let us live up to the expectations of our people. And even as we are moving towards an election, let us put in place the various clear pillars of good performance as we move forward. So with those words, I welcome you and thank you for being here. Thank you very much.